Greetings and welcome to Passive Income, the side hustles. Side hustles until you quit your job, and hopefully someday your side hustle will be your only hustle and you'll say goodbye to your job. So, today's topic, TikTok, social media platform or spyware or target. That's the thing about TikTok. It's a really fast growing social media platform, growing faster than anything else right now, but it's also been a target. People are after TikTok. So we'll take a look at some of these things and you can decide whether or not, I'm making this presentation basically for people who are thinking about getting into TikTok. I'm not I'm kind of a beginner as far as getting into it. I just started using it. But, I chose to do it, but it's not my only gig. I have other backup plans. Well, I have other, major plans. So here I'm going back to the Department of Commerce, but this is in the last month. So, the Department of Defense is worried about, U.S. Data being stolen, by the Chinese military. I don't know what they would do with data on all Americans. If you get into a war, do you worry about who's living in what house? Look what Russia is doing now in Ukraine. They're not worrying about who's living here. They're just leveling everything they can. So, it's not really the Department of Defense. I don't know whether they have legitimate claims or ever did to TikTok. Huawei is a different story. They have legitimate claims there. But TikTok, it's like depends on what day of the month it is, or day of the week it is, or who's in power, who's the president. So back to the Department of Commerce. The Department of Commerce is more worried about things like intellectual property theft, and well, that's mostly the FBI's main reason for being right now. But they're worried about that and illegal business practices. So illegal business practice would be banning American social media, like Facebook and YouTube, and we don't ban their software. So that's kind of what the Department of Commerce is worried about. But also here, this is a recent trend. These are Google searches from the past month. So you see a different thing popping up now, where like all of a sudden TikTok's kind of quasi okay, except for they're a new target too. So let's talk about these. Exclusive TikTok nears Oracle deal in bid to store U.S. data in the United States. TikTok expands legal compliance because of regulatory yada yada. Exclusive TikTok nears Oracle deal in bid to, that's the same story from up above. This one's from Reuters, one's from Money. They're probably both from Associated Press or something. So what we're talking about here, Oracle, if you remember back in Trump days, Oracle was working out a deal to buy TikTok. Now, I never understood that because Oracle is a player in my realm, is a global business consultant. You usually deal with projects that are running Oracle or SAP. Those are the two biggies, big industry software that runs global corporations. So it didn't really make a lot of sense for Oracle to be buying TikTok. What would you do with it? Ruin it, no doubt, or try to make it in some kind of business package. I think they were like smoking crack, when they're thinking about buying it. So now they're not thinking about buying TikTok, but they are nearing a deal to where they would host the data on all American citizens, so that way we wouldn't have to worry about the Chinese military getting data to our citizens, which, like I said, is crazy. So it's crazy, but, everything to do with TikTok and regulation is crazy. It keeps going back and forth. It just depends on a lot of things, on who's after them today. So anyways, this deal with Oracle would allow Oracle to host the data for all Americans in the United States where everything is safe. So everything is safe from China. Despite the fact that you read things about, like education in the United States, academia, universities. It was several months ago, a Harvard law professor was arrested and charged with, a lot of illegal doings with China. And what he got arrested for was actually not reporting income from Chinese payments made to him, And there's a lot of stuff like that going on. There always has been. It's a few years ago, a Chinese professor from Ohio State University took off to China with, thumb drives full of NASA stuff, and gave everything involving NASA to the Chinese for the space program. And last I heard, we're still holding his wife here hostage. So I don't know, but you can't trust Chinese nationals in the United States that are working both sides. We just don't know who they are. There's been studies that have said that half of the Chinese visiting scholars in the United States, which there are thousands of, and half of them are in Berkeley, UC Berkeley. They are, they're visiting scholars that come here to study. But at the last minute, the Chinese Communist Party says, we're going to revoke your thing here unless your visa to go to the United States, unless you agree to go into this institute on this campus and steal a bunch of technology for us. So that happens every day. And I've also been kind of quasi involved by giving data to some people. With I just knew I have a really big Chinese contact network, and I happen to know a girl who said she was coming over here, as a visiting scholar. And I said, cool. So we talked for a little while. She was at UC Berkeley, and she had a badge that would let her get in any institute in UC Berkeley's campus. All these research institutes. So she's supposed to be working in one building, but she had free reign to go wherever she wanted. And I knew that. And I had to tell people about that and said, hey, you've got people here that are, just free to roam around a campus to go to any research institute they want. Sometimes there's 50 research institutes on a campus. And, Chinese Communist Party sends them over here to gather information. So everything that we think we know, you wonder how Chinese, designs airplanes, fighter jets after ours, or after the Eurofighter, and that's how they get data from visiting scholars and Chinese Americans, and hacking. So, anyways, back to TikTok. So this deal here with Oracle might make some people happy and might make them think that our data is protected. But, like I said, that's crazy. There's nothing protected in the United States. We give free information to China every day. So let's see what else we have on the left side. Can you still use TikTok after Trump administration? Yeah, kind of. TikTok owner ByteDance wants court to reject Trump's. See, this says 4 days ago. Like I said, we're in mid-March 2022. And because there's still stuff from Trump's administration regulation that's still affecting ByteDance. Oh, and by the way, this is funny too. If you Google, ByteDance and who owns it and who owns TikTok, the official word from China is that TikTok is run by a group of people who are Americans in America and Americans and Singaporeans who are in Singapore. That's who's running TikTok now. So yeah, it's not a Chinese company anymore. It's a Singaporean American company. So here's another thing on the right. TikTok's national security saga nears its end. That's from the deal with Oracle. The TikTok and Oracle trusted technology partner. That's what gets you in a lot of companies, and you're a trusted technology partner. A lot of times you go on location somewhere and you get a badge to wear, or you wear your own badge from Deloitte or Accenture or whatever, SAP or Oracle. And like if you go to let's say for example the big GM towers in Detroit, you don't have to change badges there. you walk around with your badge from your company because you're a trusted partner, trusted technology partner, or a trusted business partner, a trusted advisor. So if you're on the list of trusted advisors to General Motors, you have free reign to go all over the building. And that if you work for a global consulting firm, you can walk all over GM if you want. Their security people don't work for GM anyway. They're trusted advisors too. So anyways, this trusted technology partner, this whole trusted thing has to do with global professional services firms, and they're trusted partners. TikTok's national security saga nears its end. Now, here's the new thing. This is TikTok's child safety lawsuit. So what is this? This is another target of TikTok because, if you watch TikTok, it's kind of loosely regulated as far as the content goes, and as far as a lot of other things go. There's a lot of sexual stuff on TikTok, and now all of a sudden the new thing is TikTok's child safety lawsuit gets to go ahead. Latest in videos about TikTok ban. Well, I think that's on the next page. But anyways, there's new stuff. There's some states that are filing lawsuits against TikTok due to content that it's available to children. And there's all kinds of stuff in that realm too. So now TikTok is a new target by people who want to protect children from the content in TikTok. So here on the left, this is just an article that I got from March 11th, just because it's relatively new, but you can look up this stuff anywhere. TikTok closes in on new deal to store U.S. user data in America inaccessible by Chinese groups because China doesn't have anything to do with, they don't have access to anything in the United States. It's just a coincidence that they build planes that look like an F-22 or a Eurofighter. That's a coincidence. On the right, states probing TikTok's effects on young people. So this is the new threat to TikTok. Discover U.S. government's popular videos on TikTok. China-owned TikTok is racing to move data to U.S. stores. Yeah, we know about that. So can you still use TikTok? So the big thing here is the states. It's almost like the Volkswagen emissions scandal. Where a bunch of not very smart people at Volkswagen decided to, we're Germans. I lived in Germany. I'm fluent in German. I'm part German. So I can talk intelligently about Germans. So we Germans are so smart that we don't want to, nobody will ever catch us because we're Germans and we're smart. And we're German engineers, to me, German engineers shouldn't be allowed to do anything without an American engineer next to them with a really big hammer, saying, no, bash, Anyways, this emissions scandal started when, Germans decided they could get away with it, meeting emissions in California, and nobody will ever catch them. And here they put a device in the car that detected when you were getting your emissions tested. So this little device, counteracted everything, it made your car pass the emissions test. So like, if you go to a, here they call them e-checks. I don't know what they call them all over the world, but in California, there's some kind of emissions check. And when you drove your Volkswagen up to the emissions check and they plugged it in to that little port underneath your steering wheel, there was a device in the car that detected you're having your emissions tested. So it regulated the engine. So it, made it run really lean without enough gas. So it would actually pass the emissions test. It altered the RPM, made it, idle really low, and with a lot of, a bigger air to fuel ratio than normal. So it did a lot of things to, make it pass emissions. And nobody thought they'd ever get caught, except for University of West Virginia did a study of it one day. And then, that's why we still have Germans German, executives from Volkswagen serving time in American prisons. It's because of that scandal. So, this new thing here is, U.S. states probing TikTok's effects on young people. So that, there's a lot of content in TikTok that's not regulated, a lot of sexual stuff, and I guess it can, brain damage some kid. So that's the new thing is all these states now, it used to be just on a federal level, just like the Volkswagen scandal. And just when Volkswagen thought they were done with the United States and all the regulation and all the lawsuits and the $2 billion fine from the EPA in the United States, then the individual states started going after Volkswagen, and then all of Europe started going after Volkswagen. So Volkswagen could still not survive these lawsuits. So this is the same thing that's going on with TikTok now. First, the federal government went after them with this child stuff, and now individual states are filing lawsuits against TikTok. So that's another thing you have to be aware of. You have to be concerned about. If TikTok is going to be your gig going forward, some of this stuff, is it going to hurt TikTok? Is it going to hurt your ability to make money? So that's all this video was about, just to make you aware that TikTok's always been a target of somebody. And it looks like there's no end to that happening, and you just have to keep that in mind. And if you're one of the most successful people in TikTok, you're not listening to this video. You have no reason to. If you're looking about just getting into it, then it's a good idea because it's the fastest growing social media platform, and it's not regulated that much. Your content isn't going to get nuked. I've been put on, I've been in Facebook jail so many times, for saying things I want to say, and Facebook throws me in Facebook jail, but it's, TikTok, you don't have to worry about that. There's no regulation. You don't have to worry about a lot of things, but you have to worry about, states filing lawsuits against TikTok because of exposure to children. So just one of those things. Just, it's something to keep aware of. If TikTok is going to be your only gig, have a backup plan. Okay, that's all I have. Let's see what's next. Oh, no, it's not all I have. More of the same. TikTok pushes bundle of teen safety measures. So this is TikTok fighting back, saying, okay, we know it's not healthy for kids to look at bouncing boobs all the time in every video that we put out. So we're going to do something about it. So this is TikTok fighting back again. So this is all about, TikTok. This is February 23rd, 2022. So this is all recent stuff from March 2022. Like I said, we're in mid-March now. And, this is all about child stuff, and TikTok kind of coming back saying, we're going to regulate something somehow. We don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to have like a, video detection software that shows boobs. And if they bounce too much, kids won't be able to see them. I don't know. So anyways, it's just another thing that you have to keep in mind.